Looking live, and let me go ahead and go to participants.
We're live on YouTube. It went through.
Okay. And Brooke, Mr. Nations. Oh, did you already change it for me?
Yeah, I got it.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
And it looks like we're waiting for Mr. Conway. Okay, I'm going to close out while we're waiting for Mr. Conway. Brooke, do you see what's happening to my screen here?
No, I can only see the agenda that you're sharing.
Okay, I can't even see the agenda. Oh, there we go. Can you see the agenda now?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay.
This is Mike Conway. I'm here at present.
I'm going to give Mr. Conway a ring.
Mr.
Mike.
Conway just joined
I'm
us.
here.
Mike, good morning, Mike. How are you?
Good morning, Frank. How are you doing?
Good. I think we're all here now. Are we ready to go?
1 second here. Okay, we're ready.
Fantastic. It is 10:01 a.m. and this meeting of the Arizona Oil and Gas Conservation Commission is called to order. Let us establish a quorum. Frank Thorwald.
Dale Nations.
Bill Feyerabend.
Mike Conway.
We have a quorum. Moving on to item 2, administrator update from our administrator, Chris Schmidt.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Good morning, commissioners. On the agenda this morning, it's a very light agenda, I should say. So regarding items 2A through A through D, there's really nothing on the docket for the commissioners to consider. So I would like to just go ahead and move through those unless the commissioners had any questions on those items at all.
This is part of what was already sent out to everybody, the updates.
Right, and then also items 2E through H is part of the updates that we've already given on plugging well, software updates, grant process, or rule changes. So I would like to request to move on to item 3, which would be our presentation by the Office of Administrative Counsel.
Before we do that, does anybody have any questions?
Yep, is any questions?
Okay, moving on then. Let's move on to item 3.
Okay, item 3 is a presentation by the Office of Administrative Counsel, Edwin Slade. He's an attorney who represents the Records Management Center. He deals a lot with managing how our records are processed when people make public requests or even commercial requests for records. And so we process those, and a lot of that goes through his unit. And so I would like to go ahead and introduce Eddie and have him take over whenever he's ready.
Eddie, before you move forward, I just forgot. I wanted to introduce Adam Stafford, who is the AG from the AG's office for the commission.
Thank you, Chairman Thorwald.
Go ahead, Eddie.
Okay. Yes, good morning. And I'm not your counsel, but I'm here kind of working with Adam, really just to give you the perspective of how ADQ manages public records. And because ADQ is helping as the administrator for oil and gas, I wanted to let you know how we do things with public records at ADQ, which also means how we're going to manage public records for AZOGCC. And then ask for your assistance on a couple of things to help us do public records more efficiently, which if we do public records efficiently, helps everybody and makes not only the employees' jobs in government easier, but builds trust with the citizens. So I'm not going to give you legal advice about public records. Adam is your attorney, so he can do that. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what we do to manage public records. So at ADQ, we have a records management center that's underneath of my office. Sina Sheffield is the records center manager, and she does a great job. She's got a team of 6 employees. They process about 400 to 450 records every month, records requests every month. So it's a lot. But we do it, I think, faster than any agency in the state. They're on average producing records under 5 days, and in a lot of cases under 3, sometimes under 2 days on average. So that's 400 to 450 records a month getting produced on average around 4 days, give or take, which is really great. But it takes people and it takes a coordination of everybody to get us to do that. Sometimes we get public records for communications. A record might say, please provide all communications. When they say that, that means all emails, all chats, any text messages, any documents, and that can take some time to produce. The way we do that at DEQ is we generally don't ask our staff to take their emails, search through those, put those into a folder, and provide that to us. We do it for them on the back end. What that means is we go through Google Vault, and Google Vault is attached to every email that is in Google. So if you have an ADQ email, if you have an AZOGCC email, that's through the Google system. And we use Google Vault to put in keywords. Then we search your emails, pull out the emails that are related to those keywords, look through those, make sure they're relevant, make sure there's nothing privileged, and then produce those. The great thing is you don't have to do anything, except you do have to maintain the emails in that Google system. So the ask from ADEQ as the administrator that's helping with OGCC is for you to use your OGCC email. That will help us search for communications without you having to do anything. So we won't have to reach out and say, Chairman Thorwald, can you look through your emails and get back to us? That's time consuming for you. It's annoying, but it is required if we can't do it ourselves. Any questions so far? And Adam, certainly step in if there's anything you want to add.
You're doing great. I have nothing to add.
Okay, great. So the team at DEQ, I think, has helped the commission members set up a OGCC email account. And the ask from me and our team at the Record Center is if you could use that account for your official business with the commission, that would be great for searchability. And then we won't have to reach out to you separately to ask if you have any additional communications. So I think, Chris, you're going to be working with the commission members to make sure they have an account, they know how to use it. There's any technical difficulties have been resolved, and answering any questions that we can to make it easy for you.
Right, exactly. Yep, and we've been doing that. Yep.
Mr. Nations, did you have a question?
No, I'm just listening.
Okay.
One of the things that we've been having is a number of requests related to oil and gas, given some of the things that we're doing, and with the requests that have been coming in. Some of the ADEQ software, we don't want to download that. I do not, but we can go online to the browser through the browser and access it that way. The reason, if we download their software to our phone or computer, it can take control of the entire process and look through everything. Eddie, could you explain how that works and what the differences are so the commissioners can make up their minds of what they want to do and what they can do?
Sure. Thanks, Chairman Thorwald. And I'm not the expert in the IT business, but I do know that if you want to have the email on your phone, I believe you have to allow them to erase your phone if it's lost. So there is some commitment to IT beyond just having the email platform. I think you have to give them the ability to control that in case your phone is lost for security purposes. So we don't have someone finding the phone and then being able to email on behalf of OGCC or whatever.
But
Chris,
that's only if you download your software.
correct. Yes. That's if you have the Gmail application on your personal phone, I believe.
But you can get around that by just going to your browser on your phone or on your computer.
I believe that's correct. Yes. And we're going to help everybody with all those details. So, Chris, maybe we could take an action item to get back to the commissioners on that exact IT point.
Yeah, sure. On the software versus browser type of access.
Right.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
Commissioners, what questions do you have for Mr. Slate?
Bill, I have none. Thank you.
Thank you, Eddie. Appreciate it.
Sure. The one other point I'll make is we at ADQ recently got sued for a public records request. So it does occasionally happen. So we're more cognizant of making sure we follow the law than ever. And we're currently dealing with that lawsuit in Maricopa Superior Court. They filed a lawsuit 12 days after they submitted a request. So a little premature from our perspective. I think giving us 12 days to respond to a massive request is certainly reasonable. So that's our position in court. But regardless, now we have a lot of scrutiny on that particular request. So when they've asked for all communications, we have to look under every single rock because it's at high scrutiny. And it's made us realize, it kind of sharpen our tools that we have to use for responding to records requests. And oil and gas has gotten a few requests recently for all communications. Luckily, there isn't a giant universe, but we want to make sure that there aren't things that are out of our view. And then someone can say, you provided me some, but you didn't provide anything. And we could be forced to pay attorney's fees and costs if that comes about through a lawsuit. So we're taking preventative measures. This is one of them, to come to you and ask for your support in making sure that all of your communications regarding oil and gas official business is done through your official email account, and then providing all of those records regardless of where they are, even if maybe they're not on your official account, if a request comes in. And that's really all I have.
Thank you.
Well, yes. Thank you, Eddie. Is there any other questions, commissioners, or anybody from the public or industry that's on the call?
In that case, let's move on to item 4, the chairman's report. The only thing I have to report is that we have an AZOGCC meeting coming up in the near future, which I'll be attending with regard to the legislation out there. There's no new updates on the legislative changes that we've asked for. So we'll just see where we are at the next meeting. That's all I have. unless there's somebody that has a question. Hearing none, let's move on to item 5, call to the public. Is there anybody out there that would like to speak to the commission? Give you a moment in case you're on the YouTube and you see us. May take you a moment to join us. Are there any requests? Hearing none, let's move on to item 6, request for items on the future agenda. Commissioners, what would you like to see on the agenda or not see on the agenda in the future? Staff, do you have anything you want to on the agenda? Or
We will have a permit application up for consideration at the next meeting, commissioners.
okay.
So that'll be on the agenda.
Hearing none, let's move on to announcements. Do we have any announcements? Hearing no announcements, move on to item 8. This has certainly been one of the shortest meetings we've ever had. The Oil and Gas Conservation Commission at about 10:16 is officially concluded.
Thank you all. Thank you, commissioners. Thank you, everybody, for attending.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Take care, Dale.